After a criminal named Tock uses a time bomb to free some operatives from an agency called OSS, a spy named Marissa decides to go after him, despite being pregnant. While driving, she feels a contraction and calls her husband Wilbur to meet her at the hospital because their baby is on the way. She then manages to locate Tock and beat up his men before backup arrives. After the bad guy is arrested, Marissa hands over her badge to her boss, Danger, and tells him to honor her request to quit her job to focus on her family. He tries to convince her to stay and also to tell her family about what she really does. But just as she enters an ambulance, she says they don't have to know since she's quitting. At the hospital, Wilbur is already waiting with his kids, Rebecca and Cecil. As the kids play, he mentions that he's considering starting a new show where he'll be a spy hunter. Just as Rebecca asks where he'll find a spy to catch, Marissa is wheeled in. Even though her stepkids believe she's always late to everything, she says she must have lost track of time. Just then, she is taken into the labor room to have her baby. A year later, Marissa has given birth to a baby girl, and her husband has already started his spy hunting show. Just before he leaves for work, he tells the kids to behave in school and also take care of their dog, Argonaut, who only stares at them all day. Elsewhere, Danger is alerted by a group of agents that time is speeding up, and he says it must have something to do with the Armageddon device, which can stop time or cause the end of the world. Later that day, Wilbur returns from work to meet his family. While he's talking to his wife about their new baby, Rebecca leaves the table, looking unhappy. As Cecil also leaves to talk to her, Marissa says she doesn't know what else to do to make Rebecca like her. Wilbur convinces her that his daughter only needs some time, and he's sure they'll get along eventually. In the room, Rebecca complains to her brother that their dad no longer has time for them since their stepmother came into the picture. Rebecca also says she thinks Marissa is hiding something from them, and she's not an interior decorator like she claims. Just then, Cecil watches as his sister sets up a trap for Marissa at the entrance of her room. Shortly after, Marissa comes in to make peace with Rebecca. She says that even though she can't replace their real mom, she'll try her best for the family. Marissa then gives her a beautiful necklace, saying it's special to her. Rebecca accepts it, but just as Marissa heads out, she gets her body soiled with blue paint because of Rebecca's prank. But she's unhappy with this and walks out to report to Wilbur. As she stands before him, the news comes on, and the reporter says time is speeding up and the world could end soon. A recorded message from a villain named Timekeeper is also played on the news. The bad guy says he's responsible for what's happening, and he won't stop until the world ends. As he's talking, Tock walks behind him, and Marissa sees this and realizes that he has escaped from prison. While she looks worried, Wilbur thinks setting up an interview with the Timekeeper will be great for his show. Elsewhere, the Timekeeper tells Tock that he needs to become unstoppable, and the only way he can do that is to get a special gemstone called the Kronos Sapphire, which is the only thing that can stop the Armageddon device. Tock says he's working on finding it, and just as one of his men locates it, it turns out that Marissa's gift to Rebecca contains the stone. The next day, Marissa gets a notification from the OSS informing her to bring the gemstone to the headquarters. She immediately goes to meet Rebecca to collect it, but Rebecca gets angry, though she eventually agrees to give it up. She returns the necklace case to Marissa, who then tells the dog to watch the kids. After she heads out, Rebecca reveals that she still has the necklace, and Marissa is in for a surprise when she opens the case. When Marissa arrives at OSS headquarters, Danger asks for the gemstone, and just as she gives him the case, a small portion of baby food splashes on his face. With this, Marissa realizes what Rebecca did and tells her boss she'll return home to get the necklace. However, he tells her that instead of doing that, she should look for Tock so he can lead them to the Timekeeper. Just then, Tock's men arrive at her house, and just before they blow it up, the kids get an alert telling them to head into the panic room. They don't seem to understand what's going on, but shortly after, the TV suddenly scans their faces, and then a small hole opens up in front of them. While they remain confused as to what to do, their dog goes into the hole first, and they decide to follow him. The hole closes up, and they are transported to the panic room. As they wonder where they are, the TVs in the room are turned on, and Marissa's face appears. It turns out to be a recorded message where she tells them she's a spy. She also tells them that Argonaut is a robot, not a real dog, and just as they think it's a prank, the dog tells them it's not, and they both look shocked to hear the dog talking. Just as the invaders are about to get into the panic room, Marissa's recorded message continues, and she tells them to get into a jet-powered seat so they can leave the house and head to the OSS. They follow her instructions, and Argonaut also joins Cecil in his seat. As the panic room is invaded, the seats power them out of the house, but Tick-Tock's men still chase after them. Because of how fast the jet is moving, Cecil feels really sick, and Argonaut gives him some paper bags to vomit. When he's through, he throws one of the bags out of the jet, and as it helps him get one of the bad guys off their backs, he does the same thing to beat the other guys. Argonaut then calls Marissa to inform her that the kids are on their way to the OSS headquarters. She tells him to ensure they get there safely, after which she calls someone who will welcome the kids when they arrive. The kids soon reach the headquarters, and a lady named Carmen comes over to meet them. She introduces herself as a secret OSS agent and tells them that Marissa is her aunt. She leads them into the building, and as Rebecca says, their stepmother has a lot of explaining to do. Carmen is surprised that her aunt never told her family she was a spy. She, however, says it could be because she's retired. As they continue walking, Carmen asks the kids if they would like to know how she started off as a spy, and as they look excited, she shows them the old Spy Kids division. She tells them it used to be a part of the OSS for kids, who helped the adult spies do what they couldn't do. Carmen also adds that even though the Spy Kids program has been stopped, she would like to bring it back one day. As the kids get excited to see all the gadgets in the room, Carmen gives them the chance to take one each, but she says she won't activate them. While walking around, they also see an old tape of Carmen and her brother, Junie. When the kids ask about him, she tells them she has nothing to say. Shortly after, she tells the kids to stay put while she heads out to help the OSS catch the Timekeeper. Elsewhere, Marissa arrives at Tick-Tock's location with her baby. After she suits up, she sneaks into the building and watches him talk to some of his men about stopping time. Not long after, he sees her and sends his men after her, but she's able to defeat them all, after which he escapes. While the kids are sitting alone, Rebecca comes up with an idea to go out and catch the bad guy. Argonaut doesn't think it's a good idea, but she manages to convince her brother. After several failed attempts to try the gadgets they took, the kids decide to leave the room. As they get outside, they are stopped by some security men who say they're not supposed to be outside. Argonaut shows up and tells the kids to run, and just as they do, he sets off some traps to keep the guards off their backs. The kids then head into a room with a teleportation device. While trying to find the Timekeeper's location, Argonaut shows them a series of coded messages that no one has been able to decode. Cecil realizes it's an anagram, a word made out of another by changing the order of the letters, such as listen and silent. Cecil then decodes it to show that the Timekeeper is hiding in a watch repair shop. Just then, Carmen enters the room with some operatives. But before they can reach the kids, they escape with Argonaut and find themselves outside the Timekeeper's secret hideout. Meanwhile, Carmen calls Marissa to tell her what happened, and Marissa then asks for the coordinates of the kids. Elsewhere, the kids enter the watch repair shop, and after decoding another anagram, they use an elevator to get into an underground section of the shop, where they see a big clock, with each hand of the clock moving really fast. As they wonder what to do next, Rebecca sees a small door behind the big clock and convinces her brother to follow her to get there. While she lands safely, Cecil gets his clothes hooked by the moving hand of the clock, which eventually throws him toward the door to fall badly. Elsewhere, Wilbur is tired of not catching any spies so far since he started his show. He gets a new spy tracking device, which points him toward where he can find a spy. Meanwhile, Rebecca and Cecil enter a room where they find a computer with a video showing a boy trapped in time. They also see that it's all connected to the Armageddon device, which can only be stopped by the gemstone in the necklace around Rebecca's neck. As soon as she realizes that the necklace is the reason Tock invaded their house, she tells her brother that they have to run away. Before they can leave, Tock shows up and freezes them before taking the kids to meet his boss. Then the Timekeeper tells Rebecca to release her necklace, but she says she's not giving it up. Just then, Marissa arrives with Carmen, and the kids quickly run to meet them. Marissa then tells Carmen to activate their gadgets. Immediately, the gadgets get activated, the kids get excited, and start helping to fight Tock's men. Wilbur and his cameraman follow the spy tracker until it leads them to climb a dumpster, which turns out to be another entrance into the Timekeeper's lair. As Wilbur looks around, he sees some agents fighting, but he can't see his wife and kids from where he's standing. His cameraman, however, captures everything happening, after which they both head out. Shortly after, Tock uses one of his devices to steal the necklace from Rebecca. Before he can do anything else, Marissa and Carmen lead the kids to escape. They all then stop at a park where the kids say sorry for going off on their own. Rebecca also says sorry for not giving the necklace to Marissa. As Marissa says she likes how brave they were, Carmen gets a call regarding a briefing at the OSS headquarters. Marissa tells her to take the kids there while she goes to sort something else. As she enters the car, she gets a video message from Wilbur telling her how he finally captured some spies at a watch repair shop. She immediately realizes that he might have seen her, so she heads to his office. At his office, Wilbur looks shocked as he watches the tape and sees his wife and kids among those fighting in the shop. As his boss looks happy and talks about posting the video, Wilbur damages the tape so his wife doesn't get exposed. This gets his boss angry and he gets fired. After he packs his things and gets to the car, he sees Marissa, but he ignores her because he now knows she has been lying to him all this while. At OSS headquarters, Danger brings Junie out of retirement to help fight the Timekeeper, but his sister Carmen is not too happy with this. Just as he's given his badge, she throws it into the waste bin and tells him he doesn't deserve it. While everyone is told to head out for the mission, the kids are asked to stay behind. As Rebecca complains about having to stay back, Danger comes in to praise the kids for the work they did in finding the Timekeeper. Before he leaves, Rebecca sees his watch and suspects that it's not ordinary. Cecil also realizes that his full name is an anagram for Armageddon. With this, they figure out that he's the Timekeeper, and he confirms this. He then destroys the door's security system and warns the kids to stay indoors while he heads out. The kids are worried that Danger has set a trap for Marissa and the other agents, but just as they call to inform her, Marissa thinks it's a prank, so she ignores them and walks into a room inside the shop with Carmen and Junie. Inside, they see the Armageddon device, but before they can do anything, they discover it's only a hologram. The Timekeeper also shows up to tell them it's a trap, and he takes off his headgear to reveal himself as Danger. Marissa and the others are shocked to see him, and she also asks where the real Armageddon device is. He says it's at the OSS headquarters, and he's going back to it. He then uses a freeze transmitter to freeze all the agents before returning to the agency with Tock. Shortly after, Junie realizes that he's not frozen, and with this, he sees that it only affects those with their badges. He immediately calls the kids and tells them that the other agents are frozen, and they're now the only ones who can stop Danger. When Rebecca asks how they'll do it, he says he has activated them as spy kids, and they need to work together. Suddenly, they use Argonaut's attack mode to destroy the door, and head over to the old Spy Kids division to get some gadgets and suits, including one for their youngest sister, who they call Spy Baby. Meanwhile, Junie unfreezes Carmen and Marissa and also informs them that he has activated the kids. Marissa cannot believe this, but he says the kids are ready. Just as they try to leave the room, they fall into another trap. Elsewhere, Rebecca and Cecil start fighting the Timekeeper's men, while Argonaut watches the baby. A while later, Tock catches the kids and tells them to surrender all their gadgets. Argonaut sees this and immediately calls Wilbur to inform him that his kids are in danger and they could use his help. When they're taken to where the Timekeeper is, Rebecca manages to steal a watch from his pocket. As he then faces them with the Kronos Sapphire in hand, she asks why he's trying to end the world. He says the Armageddon device is not meant to end the world, but to go back in time. He says he needs the device so he can go back to meet his father, who was among the first scientists to work on it. He says that while playing around the device as a kid, he got trapped in it and had to watch his father die after doing everything he could to free him. He adds that the OSS eventually found the Kronos Sapphire as a solution, but it was too late for him, and he's now always trying to go back in time to spend time with his father and possibly change things. Cecil says his plan won't work because he can't change the past. He also adds that every time Danger goes back, he only brings back multiple versions of himself. Just then, he realizes that Tock and all his other men look like him. Despite this, Tock convinces him that the kids are lying and he'll be able to change the past. Just as a portal to the past appears, Marissa arrives with Carmen and Junie. However, before they can do anything, the Timekeeper freezes everyone except the kids, who are holding his watch and have also stolen the Kronos Sapphire from him. The kids run away to find the Armageddon device so they can stop it, but Tock follows them, while he tells Danger to go through the portal. Despite getting Tock off their backs at first, he eventually snatches the necklace just before Rebecca uses it. Danger also goes through the portal and meets with his father, but by the time he comes out, he already looks old. He tells the kids that they were right and that he couldn't stop his father from dying. He also says his father told him to move forward instead of always coming to the past. Just as he says he plans to do that, he drops the necklace on the Armageddon device and it stops. All the agents are freed, and Marissa reunites with the kids. However, Tock snatches the necklace and says he's ready to keep trying over and over again until he gets what he wants. Suddenly, Wilbur arrives and cuffs Tock before beating up some of his men. After the agents take Tock away, Wilbur meets with his kids and tells them he's ready to start making time for them. He also forgives Marissa for not telling him about her real job. As the family looks happy, Junie and Carmen also announce that they're bringing back the Spy Kids program and they'll want the kids to be a part. The kids look excited about this, and almost immediately Argonaut shows up with Spy Baby and says he has a surprise for them. Suddenly the baby stands up, and as Tock tries to escape, she's able to stop him, leaving her family really happy with this. Days later, Rebecca and Cecil are now part of the new Spy Kids program, and they start recruiting new members from around the world.